Our final presentation for the day is Kaleb Cook. Kaleb is from Marion, and he attends Linn-Mar High School. He's the son of Denise and Dan Cook, and Kaleb's project is Dancing Away the Stigma.
Good afternoon. My name is Kaleb Cook. I am from Linn-Mar High School, and my project is Dancing Away the Stigma. Before I go too far into what my project is about, I'd like to give you guys the background on where I found my passion and how my passion developed into my project. Beginning in kindergarten, I had a girl with Down syndrome in my class. This girl sat next to me throughout the entire year and became one of my best friends. Through our relationship, I gained this passion, a passion to help individuals that might be a little different than myself. Our friendship taught me that we are more alike than different. As we grew older, although, people started to treat her differently. This angered me, and I wanted to do my part and help out and do what I could do to make her feel included. I started getting involved with organizations that worked on inclusion and equality for individuals with special needs, such as Camp Courageous, Best Buddies, and Special Olympics. Through all my experiences working with these organizations and individuals with special needs, I began to see this stigma, a stigma where people didn't believe that these individuals' disabilities held them back. This was really confusing because I saw firsthand how an individual's disability does not, in fact, hold them back. Take the girl from my kindergarten class, for example. She competes in the varsity basketball and volleyball teams and was even named the homecoming queen at my school. So clearly I wanted to do something. So one weekend when I was volunteering for Camp Courageous, I saw something that could solve this social issue of inequality. During the dance party, I saw how inclusive dance was. Everyone was participating regardless of their disability. I began doing the research on dance and its impacts on individuals with special needs and found the tool of dance therapy. To give you guys a better understanding of the tool of dance therapy, I'd like to direct your attention to this short film.
We are looking towards rethinking the high school experience. We must encompass this remodel for all students. This means not only changing the traditional students' high school, but also the special education students' high school experience. The special education curriculum has a very solid foundation, but still is as desperate for change. This is where the tool of dance therapy can come into play. Dance therapy is an adaptive form of dance that allows all students the chance to participate. It is a perfect way to allow students in the special education program to learn by doing. Within dance therapy classes, students are able to work on their social and leadership skills while promoting body awareness and getting exercise. Dance therapy has been proven by the American Dance Therapy Association to improve motor skills and help boost mood. It also has been seen to increase concentration. Students that complete dance therapy have an increased participation and reading scores in class. Not to mention, it's very fun for students.
I'm an adaptive PE teacher. I teach in the Linn-Mar School District. I teach students that have a wide range of different abilities. One of my biggest challenges as a teacher is finding activities that all my students can participate in because I have such differences of abilities in my classes. And also, I kind of need to shake things up a bit. It's fun to do something new and different, and my students really enjoy when I bring something new into the classroom. I heard about dance therapy, and I thought it'd be a great fit for my students and myself. After our first dance session, I was amazed at the results we had. We had students with core tension, and in class where I've always had to give them verbal cues, and during the dance session, they were spot on. I mean, they were so engaged in learning the dance, practicing the dance, and putting it all together. You know, we didn't have to give verbal cues. Our students had fun while they exercised, so it was really a win for everybody. It was a win for me as a teacher to see everybody having fun and so engaged in activity.
Dance therapy is easily facilitated in the special education classroom and brings many benefits. And what better way to celebrate our diversities than through dance?
As you saw in the video, dance therapy is very adaptive and inclusive. So much like dance therapy, this presentation is adaptive. I'll be giving the rest of my presentation in the viewpoint of individuals with varying abilities. If there is one thing that I would like for you to take away from this presentation, it is that everything in this life is adaptable, which can allow anyone to participate. As you saw, dance therapy was very powerful. I wanted to start an organization that used the tool of dance therapy to solve this social issue of inequality. Beginning last year in August, I started an organization called Dancing Away the Stigma that was focused on celebrating our diversities through dance. It facilitated dance therapy lessons to the surrounding school districts in eastern Iowa. The dance classes were very well received, and along with allowing all students to feel inclusion through dance, I wanted to showcase the community that an individual's disability does not, in fact, hold them back. On April 15, 2017, I held a dance party open to the public to celebrate our diversities through dance. I invited the community to see how we are more alike than different. This dance party was a fundraiser for Camp Courageous of Iowa, which is a program that works on inclusion activities for individuals with special needs. It was free for individuals with special needs and their families, and by the end of the night, we raised over $3,000 for Camp Courageous. During the dance party, there was one thing that just really stood out to me was when we asked why individuals love to dance. The answers we got were amazing. To point out one of my favorites comes from an individual I knew prior to the dance party. They said, "I love dance because it makes me feel invincible." This was really inspiring to me because I knew from what they have gone through and the adversities they faced in their life, this one thing of dance is the thing that allows them to feel invincible and has inspired me to continue the facilitation of this program. So as I began to reflect on the year of Dancing Away the Stigma, I began to realize that we'd not be serving our purpose of allowing all individuals the chance to dance and participate if we only facilitated this program in my community. Personally, I wanted to allow everyone to have the advantage to use the tool of dance therapy and feel inclusion through dance. This is when Dancing Away the Stigma transitioned from a local organization to a nationwide program. This year, Dancing Away the Stigma is still focused on celebrating our diversities through dance, but has a specific focus on dance therapy. This is the nationwide curriculum building organization that will create a 10-lesson dance therapy curriculum to be implemented in this special education and adaptive PE classroom nationwide. As you can see by the length of the timeline, this is not a short process. As I did my research and implementation of curriculum, I began to realize that it is a very slow process. Additionally, national movements focus on real-world issues that large populations face. So to properly impact a nation, you must start small. Beginning this year, we started working with professional dance teachers from a program called A Chance to Dance, which is a dance class for individuals with special needs. They are helping us choreograph a new dance every 2 weeks to be facilitated at the Linn-Mar School District. We will facilitate a new dance class every 2 weeks starting this September and going all the way until February. At the end of our dance classes, we will present the results from our program to the Iowa Department of Education to facilitate dance therapy in the Iowa Special Education classroom. After the 2018-2019 school year, we will present our results to the National Department of Special Education to facilitate dance therapy nationwide for the 2019-2020 school year. Although looking into the future is important, what I believe is most important is the impacts we are making today. One of my favorite success stories from this program comes from an individual from my high school. This individual has never wanted to participate in class, but when he found out there was a dance therapy class, he came to me and signed, "I am excited to dance." This has been really inspiring to me because it shows how inclusive dance was and how it has reached all audiences. So far, we have taught our first 2 lessons in the adaptive PE classrooms of the intermediate, elementary, and high school at Linn-Mar Community School Districts. To assess the effectiveness of our program, we assess it on positivity, engagement, and exercise through surveys. As you can see from the normal adaptive PE lesson of having 85% positive students, 75% engaged students, and 50% exercising students, all the way up to 100% in all perspective areas during our dance lesson, it's really inspiring and shows how effective our program has been. So now, to conclude my presentation, I would like to direct you guys to this iPad that has an app for individuals that are either nonverbal or that have difficulties with verbal expression. To further my point of inclusion and adaptivity, I would like to communicate the rest of my presentation through this app.
As you are well aware, Herbert Hoover was a great humanitarian. He created programs that helped the less fortunate, many of which were focused on helping children and feeding the world. His efforts were widespread and well executed. The services that Herbert Hoover provided to everyone inspires me to become a humanitarian as well. There was no limit to Hoover's spread of love and compassion. The work of Herbert Hoover is inspiring to the facilitation of my program. It is overwhelming to attempt to compare myself to Herbert Hoover, but I can compare to his ideals and humanitarian work. Us alike, we both wanted to solve pressing social issues. Whereas Hoover worked on feeding the people, I am working towards inclusion of all individuals, but overall, we both just want to help people. I would like to leave you with a quote by President Hoover: "All men are equal before fish." In other words, to an animal or fish, a human is a human despite the differences in features. As people, we need to think like the fish and treat all humans like humans regardless of their differences. Let's come together and fight this social issue of inequality and celebrate our diversities through dance. Thank you.
Guys have any questions?
Lots of nice presentation, but I noticed one thing you didn't touch on. Is that a newspaper article, or can you
Yeah, I can
tell
definitely.
us what that is there?
And I can actually bring it up closer. So this was on, the date was April 8th. Our dance party was on April 15th. And so one of the reporters found out about our organization. They were super interested. And so they actually came to one of our dance lessons, took pictures and interviewed students, and kind of advocated for a dance party on the 15th. This was a really big pusher for attendance during our dance party, and I think it probably doubled our amount of people we had.
And you said the dance party was for Camp Courageous. How are you funding these other things that you're doing, though? How are you funding? What is your funding source?
You actually, for dance therapy lessons, you don't need any money. All it is volunteer services from people. So you just need to find passionate people about dancing and have them facilitate the programs to these individuals.
Thank you.
For testing out the curriculum program, is that you specifically traveling to the other school districts, and are some of these timelines, is this a set pilot program over this next year with the state? And if successful, is that a for sure thing, meeting with the national program to see about rolling it out nationwide?
Just to give you background, I do attend Iowa Big just like Alexa. So I've been working with other students that help me organize and facilitate this program. So it's not just me teaching all these dance classes. I have lots of other really passionate students about helping individuals with special needs. We have a partner from the Linn-Mar Community School District, the lady that was interviewed. She's the adaptive physical education teacher for all Linn-Mar Community School District. And she has the connections to the Iowa Department of Education. And just last week, we got word one of the administrators from the Iowa Department of Education is really interested in seeing what we're doing in our programs, and he's actually coming to view our dance classes next week. And so that's going to give us the foot in the door and allow us to get to the next step. And with the National Department of Education, I understand that it's very busy, and the idea of getting a meeting with them is hard, but if we can get enough traction in the Iowa section, we can get a meeting with National. If students are doing something cool, media wants to know about it.
You sort of hit on one of my questions, which is how to get other districts involved. I mean, so you're kind of going the state route with the connection you have with your one teacher, but what about other districts in Iowa who might learn about this and go, wow, we could really be interested in trying this kind of program on? Have you thought about how to engage directly with other school districts?
Yeah, so last year we did facilitate dance therapy in 3 main school districts of Cedar Rapids, College Community, and Linn-Mar. And so we got our first foot in the door with that. Teachers were very receptive to our program, and they loved the dances that we were teaching. But we do have a person that is in charge of all adaptive PE in Iowa. That's also one of our partners. And she, last year, actually reached out to just the Eastern Iowa community and get people involved in other adaptive physical education classrooms to get involved with our program. So she said we can use her as a resource when we want to expand our program. But this year we're specifically focused with Linn-Mar so we can get good data results and have succinct data to use when we present it to the Iowa Department of Education.
Do you have a website or a Facebook page that people can get information about the program?
And I did forget to touch on this. So after each dance lesson, we change it as needed and then video it and upload it to www.datsdance.com. And on this website, you have access to all 10 dance therapy lessons, a part to donate if anyone's interested. And then, so anyone that has internet access and has a projector or something can click our videos and project it, and then they'll learn the dance in their classroom without people actually being there.
Do you anticipate having this a part of all districts? In other words, mandated this must be a part of their adaptive curriculum, or is this an option that you want to make available to everyone?
So for the adaptive physical education curriculum, there's not much structure. The students, since it's so adaptive, you can't have like specific things you have to hit. But they have, Ginger Halverson showed me where she can pick out where she wants to use and what activities she wants to, but there's no dance option. And so it's pretty much just getting it into that area where she can just expand another lesson. And adaptive physical education teachers will want to do this because it actually engages all students, opposed to sometimes where it's hard to get all students engaged, and you have to give those verbal cues throughout the entire class.
I had a question. So as part of the group project, how many people were involved with you on the group, and were you the project lead, and was the name your idea, or was it part of the group project and the logo, things like that?
So I founded the program last year in August, and so I got the initial mission, the logo, and all that stuff done, and then I presented it to my peers at Linn-Mar, at Iowa Big, along with the community leaders for partners. And so I presented the ground basis, and then I had 10 students, one from the University of Iowa that did a concentrated study on us. That was, she was in a leadership class, and she wanted to see how to implement leadership in projects, and so she came and observed us and was part of our project. And then we had students from all 3 community school districts on our project working it towards the same goal of allowing all individuals to feel inclusion through dance.
A stigma is perceived by the person who has it and also by the person that perceives it. And your logo, Dancing Away the Stigma, has the dancing had an effect on the perceptions?
So through our program, we did the dance therapy lessons, and the really cool thing about this program, I don't know if you already saw it on the video, but some of our dance therapy lessons, we had general education gym classes come and get included with our special education gym class, which really that was like the first realization, like we're actually doing something cool. Like we're breaking down this stigma, because these kids may have never interacted with these kids in the special education classroom, but during this dance, everyone was just focused on dancing. They weren't focused on their differences. Everyone was just going towards the same goal of having fun in a gym class and getting some exercise. So there it has been already some real realizations of stigma reducing, but overall I think it's going to just continue on as we progress with the project.
Thank you.
Thank you.